This is Lance Lee with another edition of Success in Japan. Today we get a chance to speak with Gregory Clark, a longtime friend, an author, and also a lecturer here in Japan.
How you doing? It's been a while.
Come on. Thank you. You ready for this interview?
Yeah, let's go.
Isn't that the former Prime Minister in Japan?
Yes, Sato Eisaku, yeah. And there I am.
Yeah.
Bright and bushy-tailed. I was working as a correspondent then for Mr. Murdoch, of all people. I had 4 years working as a journalist here. And looking back, I'd say that was the most, how should we say, useful 4 years. In that, maybe I wasn't making a lot of money, but that's where you get the basic groundwork. That's when you get out, you get off your butt, and you go out and meet people. Every day you're chasing stories. You really get into Japan. And I'd say that was the basis of really everything that happened subsequently.
What do you consider success to be in Japan, and what made you successful?
I was very lucky. Sure, the language is important, and I was lucky there, because the Australian government had paid a lot of money for me to learn Chinese. You know Chinese? Japanese is a little bit easier. More importantly, once you've learned one difficult language, the next difficult language is a lot easier. You know the technique. There's a technique to it, like everything.
Well, I know a lot of people that can speak Japanese fluently, but they're not successful.
Well, it's
so tell me, how did you turn yours into success?
You've got to have a few other bits of luck going for you too.
Such as?
Okay. Well, I came to Japan, and actually I was rock bottom when I came to Japan. But I'd been involved with China. I said to myself, wait a minute, there's something funny going on here. Why are these Japanese so different from the Chinese? You see, a lot of foreigners come here and they realize there's something funny, different about the Japanese, and they say, well, that's all Oriental culture. So, you know, the Chinese are like that, the Koreans are like that. The Chinese and the Koreans are not like that. The Chinese and Koreans are like us. It's the Japanese who are different. And you say to yourself, why? So I came up with a theory, and a publisher was good enough to ask me to write a book. And the book hit the publicity fan, you might say. And before I knew where I was on television, in the media, and the next thing is the key to it all. It's called the lecture circuit. Now you have one in America, there's one in Japan, and the one in Japan is even bigger. And it just goes on and on forever. In my case, almost 30 years. Because every bank, every securities company, every farming outfit, they have all these branches all over Japan. These branches have monthly meetings. When they have a monthly meeting, they've got to have a lecturer, and they will pay big money.
What do you do with it after you get it, all the capital?
Well, that's a problem. You see, I'm just a simple, humble guy, brought up on a little farm outside Brisbane. No, seriously. I used to be a bureaucrat. You don't get much money there either. So suddenly all this money appears, and I know most of you guys do. You buy yourself a big condo in the middle of Tokyo, a couple of dozen clubs. But no, I love farming, so I bought myself a farm. And of course, the big surprise there is it costs hardly anything to buy land outside Tokyo if you go in the right direction.
How do you see other people in Japan? What do you equate a person of success in Japan?
It's confidence, yeah, of course. But it's a chicken and egg thing. The better things go for you, the more confident you are. The more confident you are, the better things go for you. The language is a big help, but I've seen some successful people without the language. But a lot of confidence, a lot of guts. This is a little book I like quite a lot. I put it out 20 years ago. You know, I was getting such a build-up with the books I was putting out in Japanese, and people were saying, what's this theory that you have about Japan? Well, look, every human has two aspects to his personality. Right? An emotional, human side, and a more rationalistic, logical, reasoning side. Okay? You use both of them every day. It's like right hand, left hand. With your family, with your kids, with your friends. It's the right hand. With the world outside, in your enterprise, your university, whatever, it's the left hand, right? I mean, you run a company, you're going to have seniority promotion or merit promotion. Right? In a family, it's seniority promotion, right? We just take that for granted. But in a company, we say, wait a minute, we've got to have a logic to this, so it becomes merit promotion. Okay? Right hand, left hand. Well, imagine a situation where everything is right hand. Why? Because they were isolated for so much of their history. They were never forced to change the original value system, the one which is instinctive to all of us in the family, in the tribe, in the village, and so on. And they were never forced to change. The rest of us were on the, well, we're all part of the Eurasian continental civilization. It begins with China and India in the Middle East and South Europe, but eventually it spread to North Europe and America, where there's constant wars and fights and conflicts and contact between people. So they move away from the right hand to the left hand. Okay, that's a perfectly adequate way to run a country too, run an enterprise too. But the Japanese just stayed with the right hand. And the result is there are two ways of doing everything. And in fact, we've come to think that this is the only way and the superior way. Well, Japan's forcing us to realize, hey, maybe there's something in this way. Remember the big boom on Japanese management? Right? And there's no doubt about it that the Japanese economy is still very strong. And, well, part of it was they were using the right hand, okay? The enterprise manager is familial, that's all. How do you run your family? Seniority promotion, lifetime membership, okay? In-house training, no lateral recruitment. I don't see myself as fully successful yet because I still have not produced the ultimate book. I produced a book over 20 years ago in Japanese explaining what I call the tribal theory. Japan's like a big tribe. And I've been trying ever since to get it out in English, but I'm constantly upgrading the ideas, realizing there are all sorts of things out there that need to be explained, right? The politics, the economy. And I suddenly realized, hey, it all fits into the theory.
Give us some of your techniques and little clues into how to learn the languages you've learned.
Но зачем ты хочешь, что я поговорю? Qu'est-ce que c'est que je Gotta be like a woman, gotta be like a child. Why do women speak languages better than men? They're more passive, they're more receptive. Men are too argumentative, they resist, subconsciously. And children, of course, don't resist at all. So you've got to put yourself into that frame of mind. And you just got to listen and listen and listen. When I was learning Chinese, I was in Hong Kong. When I was learning Russian, I was in Moscow. And when I was learning Japanese, I was in Japan. So there was no shortage of native people to speak to. More important than speaking is listening. There are very few foreigners who can listen, say, to a television discussion and understand everything that's being said. Say a discussion on politics or the economy. And when I first came to Japan and listened to these things, it was just like a great wall of sound was hitting you, even more than with other languages. You have it with all languages, of course. And you say there is no way I'm going to be able to separate these sounds and get meaning out of them. But today, of course, quite a few years down the line, it comes through as clear as day. I'm doing my life story on the website. I've realized that people read internet nowadays, they don't read books. And the final part of that life, so-called life story, will be, well, all the things we've been talking about, of course, but also the basic theory put out in that book. So if you can just wait for another week or two, it'll be on the internet.
A wonderful interview with Gregory Clark, one of the renowned foreigners in Japan that's been here for over 30 years. And I want to thank all of you for watching another Success in Japan.